predator. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is the shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil, and he will keep your life. The Lord will keep you. You're going out, and you're coming, from this time forth and forevermore.
It is a joy to be here. I think when I put this on, it gives us the feedback, so I'll leave it off. Okay. It's a joy to be here, and first of all, I want to say that Frank and Summer Mills send their love. And I was speaking with Frank this past week. In fact, him and I are going to do something together next month, and then also the following month as well. But anyway, he said, Dorian, I hear you are coming to Calhoun. Please tell everybody that we send our love. It is a joy to be here. This is our second oldest grandson and grandchild, but we have 3 grandsons, and the granddaughter is the youngest. And we appreciate Dakota, and I appreciate him reading this passage of scripture. It's great to have them with us. Dakota and his brother are all part of our work as well. Been to Africa and traveled with us constantly, so we are thankful for that. I would like to use this opportunity to thank you all and let you know that you have helped us in a work that has just taken off. This month we begin 13 years with Partners for Africa, and we are excited about what's happening. And in spite of COVID, and in spite of a tremendous drought they've had there, our work continues to go forward. And I want you to know that we don't ever want to come here, Sherry and I, and me stand here before you, and we have done nothing. We haven't made any progress. For every year we come, we want you to know that we're going forward. So, in the next slide, I'll just hit this. Let me see. Okay, so I do want you to know, so far in 2021, we've had 31 baptisms, and excited about that. We ended up a year with 789 last year, and that's in spite of COVID and everything. So I just want you to know that we've got off to a great start this year. I want just back up that. Let me just back up that slide if I can. No, let me go this way. Okay. I want you to know that we begin this year even expanding. Okay, so we're going to be doing radio programs, 3 different radio programs on Zambia radio. We are right now, because of all the new Christians, we are raising money for Bibles right now. I'll talk about that later, but I want you to see some of the new Christians getting their Bibles. And what makes Bibles, these Bibles we give them becomes the Bible of the family. These new converts, especially these young people here, they have no Bibles in their homes. And they have come to know the Lord Jesus Christ through what we have shared with them, some through Bible correspondence, some through our home Bible studies. And so now when they take the Bible home, the families sit down and they read it together. And so it becomes something very precious. And the guy on the right in the blue fatigues, his name is Devilius Malombi, and he lives in northern South Africa, and him and his wife were just a dynamite team for Christ. There's a lot I could tell you about him, but I just want you to know that he does a tremendous work committed to the Lord there, and besides working with the youth, is very instrumental in planting churches. You know what's so wonderful about northern South Africa in an area called Venda? The leaders come together towards the end of the year, and it might be 15, sometimes 20 congregations, the leaders, and they come together and they said, with this plan, this is where we're going to plant next year in Venda. And all the churches together make this happen. And they plant at least 3 new congregations a year. So I want you to, you've helped with this in the past because you've got a gift from this church. But I never would have thought that we have over 250,000 people a day that get fresh drinking water because of our good works. We have drilled that many wells in 13 years. You know, our goal was 50 wells in 10 years. And now we've got these water wells that are door openers. But first of all these people are getting clean water every single day. But on top of that, we get the opportunity to share the good news of Jesus Christ, because every one of these wells are strategically placed. But what do you mean by that? I mean, it's either where a congregation already is or where we're planning to plant one. And so it is. So we are thankful and thankful for that. This is our 100th well. I just wanted you to see this picture because it's just so great. This lady right now, she's in Zambia, and she is. She had to walk over 6 miles round trip just to go get water during the dry season from a dry riverbed where she digs for the water, goes and gets it, and it's dirty water, you know. And now she is so happy. She doesn't have indoor plumbing, but she is happy because she only has to walk about 100 meters now, or a little over 100 yards to go get her water. So she is a happy camper. Talking about how wealthy we are, you know, that's so foreign to us, you know. This is the church in Kabwe, Zambia, and this is the latest well that we just finished for the church there, and there's 1,800 families in that area that will get this water, clean water, and think of the opportunities that will come by. And then one other well I wanted to show you was this one here is at a primary school. These children that I see on the pew here, that primary school has those aged children that go there. And do you know that they would come to school in the morning at 8 o'clock? And they would leave at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they would drink nothing because no food is provided, and they had no water until we brought the well. And it seems impossible to us, but do you know what that means? And one thing it means is that the school now has opened up their hearts to us coming in and having Bible classes with the kids because we brought that water. Great door opener. So let me just say something about the benefits of a well. And I won't go through all of this, but 2 things I want you to remember. First of all, of course, it allows us to share living water. Jesus Christ, that message. But the other thing is young girls are the ones that go and get water in Africa. They're the ones that spend their days, if there's no water in the village, they've got to go do that. And so they don't get to go to school, and they don't get an education. And when we plant a well there, we are sending girls back to school. What chance does a young girl have, especially in Africa, with no education? And so just by doing the well, you know, provides that opportunity, and we are thankful for that. One of the things I want you to know is that we have income streams that we are building there. We've asked you to help us in our work, and you know that we have built a clinic, and we are about to open up a Christian high school. But none of those things would have been on our agenda list, talking about my wife and I, if we couldn't have a map where we could see this would be sustained in Africa. So we, 3 years ago, with an 8-year goal, 3 years ago, started building these income streams in Africa, okay? And so one you see is planting seedlings here, and we are planting we're planting an orchard. Right now, we've just planted 55 Valencia orange seedlings and 55 mango seedlings as one. The other is our agriculture. You just thought you'd seen a cabbage. Now that's a cabbage. Well, when you drill a well and you drill it in an area where they've never farmed because they haven't had water, guess what? The nutrients are still there. And so through our agriculture, and let me just give you an idea. We're talking about planting at a time, because it's 9 months summer, 3 months spring, so you can all year round, if you got water, and we do because we drill, we'll plant between 10 to 15,000 cabbage, 25,000 tomato plants, and now we paint for the clinic just from our agriculture. And we've been doing that for the last 2 years. And then we have cattle. This is some of the cabbage that wasn't saleable, but the cattle liked it. But we built, so we've got agriculture, we've we've got orchards that we are working on, and we have cattle. And when I was here last year, we had about 85 or 86 head of cattle. Now we're up to 144 head. And the 2 bulls that we bought was money well spent, if you know what I mean. And so now, once we get to 200 or so head, we're going to be able to have 30 to 40,000 a year without touching our herd, as we sell off the young ones. So these 3 income streams are making all the difference. Plus, we're going to add fish farming as well. That's on it as well, and then a solar farm as well. So 42 containers have been sent to date. Can't hardly believe it. I had somebody come up to me already today and say, more than one person say, listen, can you still use clothes? I've got some boxes for you to take with you. This congregation is amazing because you help us on so many levels. But we've shipped these containers, and it's quite amazing that from Walmart and some from Sam's, over 50,000 boxes have gone overseas. And in the rural areas, they'll ask us, they'll say, can we keep the boxes because they have no chest of drawers, so they use the clothes for that, you know. But it's tremendous, the countries we're going to, and right now we're looking at Kenya, and we're also looking at Namibia. So we're already sending to 5, that'll be 7 countries that we'll be sending to. And so this is our recent one that just arrived. Now I want you to see this. This arrived in Lesotho, known as the Mountain Kingdom. And yes, in Africa they get snow, and they get snow here, but it's in June and July because that's their winter. So this arrived. They unloaded it in the Devilius Church of Christ building, okay? And now they're getting ready to deliver it. They've got their trucks, and they're ready to go. And they delivered 1,200 boxes in 10 days to 13 churches, and I just want you to see the transport. Let's do it, okay? Just fit it up, boy, tie it down. They had guys standing behind the truck and just walking so they wouldn't lose a box, you know? So, I mean, you just got to appreciate, you just got to love them, you know? So here are some of the villages receiving the clothes that you guys have sent in times gone by as well, you know? We appreciate that. I do want to share this with you. So we have a congregation in Florence, Alabama, actually Sheffield, Alabama. They have ceased to exist, so they've turned the building over to us, and we are thankful for that. Sorry that they've ceased to exist, but we're still using it for mission endeavors. And so we got all the pews out of the building, you know, and we've been sending them to Africa. So we sent 2 to the Devilius Church of Christ, and the preacher comes to me and he says, Brother Donsi, he says, Brother Flynn, I want you to know that these pews are only for the older people. And he says, nobody else is going to sit on those pews, you know? And I told Sherry, I told my wife Sherry, I said, you know, if it was here in the States, we'd probably have to have people prove that they have an AARP card before they can sit down, you know? The Marshall Bible School sent desks and chairs that our children sat on years ago for our school. And so this is our son and our daughter. We have a younger son, but our older son and daughter are working with us. And the daughter is actually Dakota's mother. And we have adopted 2 high schools, Marshall Bible School and Jackson Christian in Jackson, Tennessee. And the color of their uniforms, both schools, is blue and white. So guess what our colors are? You know? So you can figure that out. This is a preschool that we have at one of the congregations that we started, and this was their graduation in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. And I just want you to see that picture. I think they look so cute. But some of the families that we are working with, this is a great family that runs our center there, and the Malongani family, he came over to the United States. Haley did. He went and he got a degree from Heritage Christian University and then also the University of North Alabama. And his wife is just about, she flew today to the University of Cape Town, one of the top universities in Africa, and she will be getting her master's in chemical engineering. And then she'll be working at our school. She will also pursue a PhD as well. The other family is the Vimba family that we work with. And Bruce, although Bruce is not like he was years ago, but he did have a track scholarship to Hardy. But he works, I mean, they are a tremendous family. And Bruce's father came to Heritage Christian also and graduated many years ago. He's second generation. So we are set to open up the school. I've got down here February 2021. It's not quite open yet, and it's all because of the government. Not because the government has anything against us, it's because of the COVID lockdown. So they're going through another cycle of 2 weeks. And once that's over, then the school. But we're all ready, the school. When we were here last year, our goal was to open the school. And all the staff, faculty is out there. Our buildings are built. We lack just a little bit. You have made that possible. The last 2 years, through your contribution, you have helped us get there. We are starting 1 grade a year, and we opening up with a freshman class. This is the school building that you helped build, and I want to thank you. And so because we had that built, we were able to bring those desks and chairs from Mars Hill, Florence, Alabama, and they're sitting in the building right now, ready for education to begin. But it's taken teamwork, and if it wasn't for the church here in Calhoun, this would not be a reality, and I'm so thankful for that. This is Dakota and his brothers on the far right. They collected textbooks from the school that they go to at Mars Hill and sent them over there for our school. There's some of our future students with their uniforms on, and they just loved it. I just had to show you this because, I mean, this is just amazing, this reality here. And it's a high school. And let me just say something about it's Amazon Christian Academy. Let me say something here. This is in an area where there are 5 preschools, 5 primary schools, okay? There is no high school. So it's not like we're going into an area of Africa and saying, well, they've got all these government high schools, we'll just put a Christian high school there. No, we've gone into an area, which there'd be nothing wrong with that, but we're going into an area where there was no high school. So I want to try to share with you the impact of that. All those children who generations gone by have never gone to high school in that part of Africa are now getting to have a high school education. Grandmothers and parents are so elated. They came and helped us clear the land with axes and all kinds of, just because they wanted their grandchildren and children to have this education. But what it means is they're coming to a Christian school, and we're going to be able to teach them Jesus through their high school years. And there is no other high school in the area. And then our plan is, by the time these freshmen are finished as seniors, we will have our high school university ready. That's our goal. Just want you to know that this is the faculty housing that we have finished, and this is the satellite dish. In fact, things have changed because of technology. I was just telling John, isn't it a blessing that during this COVID that we got this technology? The principal said to me, he said, Dorian, I can't believe that we're having the whole world come to the bush. You know, it is. It's wonderful, and this is our faculty. All of them are faithful, committed Christians. They are all were vital leaders in their different congregations of the Churches of Christ in the Bulawayo area, and they have all pursued their education. And when they start teaching, they'll have a BA in Bible, and they'll have a master's in their field. And some of them then will be working for their doctorate. So what's wonderful is, first of all, that they've embraced this Christian school. Secondly, that the board, except for my son and myself and Sherry, the board is all Zimbabwean, and all the teachers are Zimbabwean Christians. We want the school to be theirs. They take ownership right from the start. And so we are thankful for their commitment. This is the principal and his wife. And little did my father was a successful businessman in Zimbabwe, was able to send my sister and myself and my brother to Harding University, pay our way. But that principal right there, his name is Progress Nubi. And Progress, his father worked for my father years ago. And his father became a Christian, and now Progress is second generation. And we are so thankful for that. This is a young guy studying at the University of Rwanda, and he is finishing in math and science, and he'll be heading up our department. And here's some of the children that will be joining us. They go to the primary schools there. They'll be joining us in the future. And I just wanted to say we planted this church right here. on the campus, and a container arrived, and it was in June, and they got Jif Extra Crunchy Peanut Butter. You talk about Merry Christmas. Listen, I grew up in Africa, and we had peanut butter. At least I thought, until I came over to the States and experienced extra crunchy peanut butter. Oh my, got to get it back to Africa, And then we have our clinic, and our clinic continues to help people each day. One of the things that we're working on right now is to be able to, once COVID vaccines have just arrived in Southern Africa, so we are trying to work a plan where we can possess some of those, and start distributing from our clinic. We feel like that'll make a great impact as well. And this is some of the inoculations that we do. We have saved so many children's lives because our clinic can inoculate children that never had that before. And so we are excited about that. I do want to thank this church especially for the special offering that you gave towards the fall of last year, because there was the worst drought, besides COVID, the worst drought in Zimbabwe in 50 years. And there was, I don't know how many people have died. Tens of thousands of head of cattle died. But people we don't know yet. And we were keeping 650 Christian families alive. I'm not exaggerating. And the gift that you gave came at such a critical time. But not only that, the gift that you gave, I was able to go speak to others and say, this is what Calhoun did. Could you match it, or could you help it? And I mean, it just started to snowball. And we raised tens of thousands of dollars, probably close to about $75,000, where we were able to keep these families alive and other distribution. And because of all of our good works, it was a lockdown. But the government, the police and the military gave us a green light because of who we are. They said, oh, you Partners for Africa? Okay, we'll give you special permission. You can go into the village areas and you can feed these people. And so we are thankful for your generosity once again. And here's some of the people that we helped. This widow lady, one of the congregations, these children here who was only, and I want you to know, these children that you see, some of them were only eating one meal every 3 days. And it would just be some cornmeal or something like that. And so we were giving them food to take home, giving them to take home to their parents as well. And we went to congregations, we provided them mealie meal. One of those bags is 10 kg, which is 22.2 pounds, and it will feed a family for about a month, a family of 4. So we are thankful for that. I know I got ahead, I'm sorry. I messed you up, didn't I? Just go back up. But what I did want to tell you is I want to close with these thoughts. Number one, we want to finish. We want to start the sophomore wing of the school, and we would love for you to consider again. You've given us a 10,000 contribution once a year, and if you can consider any of that or just that amount, if you can, towards us laying the foundation for the sophomore wing. We have a group of guys from the Crosspoint Church of Christ in Florence, in fact, where Frank preaches, who have committed to us that if we can get a foundation done, they will come in August and they will put up a classroom wing in 10 days, and they will commit for 5 years. And so it would be tremendous if we could have that ready for them when they come to get that accomplished. In Luke chapter 8, a lady is working herself through the crowd because the man that she wants to come in contact with, everybody's around him. And the Bible says she grabs the hem of his garment because she's had a serious problem, and she's searched everywhere. The King James says that she has a bloody issue. She has this bleeding that can't stop. But that word issue today, we've changed that word issue in a sense, because we all have issues. The people that have come through me through the years, I proclaimed the gospel, that needed help with the myriad of issues. Dorian, we burning candle at both ends. I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know how I'm gonna stay healthy. Or we are so in debt. I don't know how we're gonna survive. Or we just going through the motions. I don't know if our marriage is gonna make it. Issues. And this woman tells us, just grab the hem of his garment. In time, you will get to know him so much more, and your relationship will become so much deeper. But just grab onto him. He's the answer. Last year, I lost a very close friend. We met when he was 14 and I was 13, and he walked into my high school, and we became friends. At that time, I brought him home, and my mom said, "Who in the world are you hanging around with?" You know? Because Dick was rough. He did like to drink some, and he had 2 pens when he came to school. One pen was to write with. I'm dating myself now, okay? The other pen was empty. Well, not really. It had a cigarette in there, because how can you go a whole day at school and not have a smoke? You know? So he's coming from that. So one Sunday, as I did all Sundays, but this one Sunday was special because I go with my dad, we go pick up people for church. My mother and father committed to the Lord. And I grew up in a Christian home. I was so blessed. But at that point in my life, being a teenager, not all teenagers are that way. No, there's no reason for it. But at that time, I wasn't fully committed. So we picked up some people that lived next to the house that Dick had just moved into. And Monday morning, he came to me and he said, "Dorian, in a mocking tone, do you go to church?" And in my best evangelistic method, I said, "I dare you to come with me." I couldn't deny it. And he said, "Okay." And he became a Christian. And him and his wife planted churches in Swaziland, which is now Eswatini. And he became the president of the Bible school there. And when we did his Zoom meeting, memorial, when we did his Zoom memorial, I said, "You know, there's a question I have in one of my sermons, where did you meet Jesus?" But I said, Dick took it further, you know, because it's not good enough to say, "Where did you meet Jesus?" Oh, I know about him now. But what are you going to do about it? How are you going to respond? And Dick surrendered. And he surrendered to the will of Christ. And his whole life was transformed. And so all his adult years were spent sharing and bringing people into the kingdom. And so we come here today, and in a few minutes we're going to remember this great memorial feast. Its power, but it reminds us of the greatest gift we have for the world, and that is Jesus Christ. Amen. We're going to sing a song, encourage you to come. If you want prayers, we're here to pray for you through this difficult time. But if you want to give your life to Jesus Christ, know it's not just a Sunday stroll, but it's a total commitment. Won't you come as we stand and sing? There's a fountain.